Very hard thing. So when you first started to develop, you got your boobs.
Yes.
But did you fill out, or did you just
not till later?
Not until okay.
Right.
All right. So they were like, oh, okay.
Well, they thought I had the ideal body.
Right. They're like, okay, that then.
Yes.
And then after you got in,
yeah.
and you became a woman.
Yes.
You became a woman.
Right. Right. I had several meetings with the directors.
Right.
They would, say you need to lengthen. You need to,
right. Because the language is very,
yes,
very delicate around
yes,
that, or can be depending on where you work.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So
and also now times have changed because that's a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say that.
Yes, you can't.
You can't say that. So then, if it did come into that, how did that make you feel, though?
It was such an interesting time in my life. I felt like I was at a point where I was coming to terms with the fact that I was an adult and a woman, and realizing that I was the only black person in my company. It's not kind of like all of these things happened at once.
Right.
Dealing with my body changing, dealing with the fact that I felt alone and I had no one that I could relate to, no one who grew up like I did. They didn't grow up listening to the same music as me. I was dealing with all of these things, and I think that my first initial reaction was to rebel. And I didn't know how to deal with that. And I think I went for about a year where it was just like, I didn't know if this was the right career path for me. I didn't know if I was, going to be accepted always. And, and then again, I had these mentors that came into my life at a perfect time, and I'm so lucky for that.
It's that is a lifesaver. We were talking about this before we started, and the idea of being black in this country is already stressful. It's just stressful.
It is.
But then when you go into a field where you are other, if not only, it's really difficult and isolating. I mean, I danced for Dance of Harlem. One of the reasons why I danced for Dance of Harlem was because the first time I saw them, I was like, oh my God, I'm not the only.
Yeah.
Andrea Long and I came up together in Philadelphia. Yeah. So I had her in school. But you don't see it in the company. In Pennsylvania Ballet, you didn't see that. When I saw them, I was like, that's home. So I never wanted to be anywhere but home. Right. So I can only imagine, well, not a little bit, what it would be like to train that way, but to have to live your life as a professional, being the person who not only represents your race inside the company, but also as a performer, anybody that's darker than tan is looking at you going like, so that pressure.
The thing is, I've never felt pressure. I haven't.
Responsibility? No. Yes.
At this, right now in my career, I do feel like I have a responsibility, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And I think I have such high standards and goals that, I don't know, I'm in this because I have certain things that I want to accomplish. And it's not because I'm black and I need to do this. I don't know. It's for myself.
You just happen to be in this position.
Yes. But I'm okay to share my
You
experiences.
get what it is.
And I know the effect that it has on these young black dancers. So that's why I speak so openly and freely about my experiences.
It's so interesting. The timing is so ironic because here you are in this place in your career, which is just something that was going to happen anyway because that's what you were going to do.
Right.
But it's like almost a perfect storm because with Dance of Harlem having not had a company for so long, that was the place where if you had a dancer of color that was like, oh my God, you could be a ballet dancer. A lot of ballet teachers would go like, oh, go to Dance of Harlem, just like they go to Ailey, because it's almost like a safety thing because they know what it is out there. So that doesn't exist anymore. Right. So we don't see brown dancers coming up because who wants to encourage a dancer into something that you go like,
I know.
Especially if you know they don't look like what they're going to be expected, like the ideal.
Right. I mean, I think you have to be an extremely strong person to be in this field, period. But to be a black dancer in this field, you just have to be ready for it. and you have to be strong. But I was just at the Dancer to Harlem Gala last week, and I spoke a lot about my experience and seeing it firsthand, you know, when they folded, and seeing all of these Black dancers that it was like they had nowhere to go.
Right.
And, you know, these large companies that are on a level like ABT are not welcoming these dancers with open arms.
No.
So I'm so thrilled for them to be up and running again, and I think Virginia Johnson is the perfect person to be in this position. But I know it's extremely hard to encourage a Black dancer to go this route, but I think it needs to be done.
It needs to be done. And that's why I think that it is the perfect storm, because at least we have, at this level, a person that young dancers can look at and go like, okay, yeah.
And I think a lot of them, the really younger dancers, don't understand what it is they're connecting with.
No.
But it's so important for them to see it.
You don't really realize it. Like, I never realized when I was looking at the stage that I didn't see myself reflected.
I didn't either.
You just fall in love with ballet. You just go, oh. And it's not until whatever that moment is in class or whatever, when you realize, oh, that's right, I'm Black. I forgot.
Right.
You know, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I really understand now when I actually get out there and I speak to these young students and I see these girls and I hear their stories and I see the tears in their eyes. I understand how effective it is for them to see someone who looks like them.
It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing.
It is.
Obviously, you have the ideal, we'll put it in quotation marks because we've already talked about how much it takes to keep it together. The ideal body for ballet. But you are considered, and you know what's really crazy is she's the tiniest thing you'll ever want to see. So it's almost laughable that we go like, she's a curvy girl. It's like, like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, she's a curvy girl. But you are a curvy girl for ballet.
Classical ballet world.
And so that is a whole other, you know, topic. What does that mean for you? Like when you know, like, because that's a real thing. Like if you have a hint of a thigh, muscularity, a hint of a booty, or a hint of some breasts, it becomes a whole new world. Like
it
a
is. Yes, it is.
It really is.
Also, I think you know how you appear on stage. You could be the tiniest person, and you know, I think that I look much more grand and bigger on stage.
You look at least 5'7".
Right. And I'm 5'2".
She's 5'2". You're like, seriously? It's like smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, yeah. I always say that it's okay to be a woman and to look like a woman. I feel like people have this ideal image that a ballerina is forever a little girl, and it's a fairy tale, and they're these little princesses, and they have bodies of little girls. And we are women up there, and I'm happy to represent, even if, you know, I look different from what people think of when they see a ballerina. I still think I look like a ballerina, even though I have muscle and breasts. But I know that I've had difficult times of finding, with them putting costumes on me that make me feel and look confident on stage. And so, you know, I've kind of taken that into my own hands with creating this dance storyline that I'm working on, because I know how many people out there need it and need the support that will make them feel beautiful.
Yeah,